It has been over a year now since the last episode of ReZero aired on Japanese TV, but the story of Subaru is far from being over. There's still a lot of light novels to tackle for the anime, and a third season seems very likely at the moment. That said, what does that third season even really look like? It's me, your boy, and I'm a huge ReZero nerd, and today I'm presenting you what to expect from ReZero Season 3. That said, a quick warning at the beginning of this video, it will include minor spoilers for the ReZero franchise and especially for the third season of the anime, which you could probably guessed looking at the title. That said, let's get right into it. When the second season left off with Subaru's knighting ceremony, if you remember correctly, it seemingly concluded the entire arc of the season. But when you really look at it, the entire season only brought up more questions and problems than answers for already existing problems. For Subaru, his main objective is still to save Ram by beating the Sin Archbishop with gluttony. An objective he already set himself at the beginning of the second season, so not much progress there. This brings up two more problems for Subaru. The first being where even to find gluttony in the first place, and the second being how to beat gluttony. Because while Subaru has certainly grown in strength over the process of the second season, he's still no match for Sin Archbishop, meaning that he will have to spend his time training while waiting for information to arrive about the whereabouts of gluttony. We also have to remember that besides what Puck told him about gluttony, Subaru has equal to none information about gluttony. That said, we should also consider Beatrice and her role in the upcoming season. Because while the anime didn't really confirm it, the events in the library led Beatrice, the great spirit of the library, to form a pact with Subaru, effectively turning him into a spirit knight, the same type of knight as Julius, his self-proclaimed rival. If you only watched the anime, you're probably thinking that this would make Subaru really powerful, considering the strength of Beatrice. But I must disappoint you. While Beatrice is very powerful, she wasted nearly all of her mana with the finishing move on the Great Rabbit. Mana she spent nearly centuries gathering. And as a spirit mage, she uses up the mana of her contractor, Subaru in this case, who, if I remember correctly, has a broken gate. A gate is normally required for using mana and magic in the first place, making this whole Spirit Knight and Great Spirit duo more of a big show than a real threat. But we shouldn't just focus on Subaru. There are also other characters that play a much bigger role in the upcoming season, so let's start with the most important one, Otto. Otto, who Subaru had accidentally saved in Season 1 and got a whole episode dedicated to him in the second season, not only became a great friend to Subaru, but also turned out to be very knowledgeable about being a merchant and doing business in general. This being the reason the Emilia camp uses, or rather abuses, him as a domestic advisor now. While Otto himself has his doubts about his new position, Subaru and company really start relying on him, not only as the MVP of the series, but also as a most competent merchant with a slight alcoholism problem. As for Season 3, Otto will still accompany Subaru and company, while acting as their advisor, and yes, also as their punching bag. Mentioning Camp Emilia, Emilia also has a big problem to solve. While Roswell's dubious plot failed to isolate her, Puck had to break the contract he made with Emilia, destroying the catalyst crystal around Emilia's neck as a result. While you might not think much of this, such a catalyst crystal is needed to reforge the pack and to bring Puck back again. But these crystals are rare and expensive, so they are hard to come by. But because Emilia considers Puck part of her family, she desperately wants him back. So expect Emilia to be on the lookout to find a way to reforge the lost pact with Puck. Now, let's take a look at Roswell's ambitions. While Emilia and Subaru took care over Roswell's evil schemes, and Roswell has been bound by a vow not to act against Subaru in the future, Roswell is still very strong-willed and has not given up completely on his ambitions. he still wishes to meet once again with his former teacher Echidna. While he cannot act against Subaru, he knows of his powers to loop in time, as we could see in Season 2. Roswell hopes that by supporting Subaru, he can also reach his goals. This also meaning that whenever Subaru leaves the predetermined way laid out for him, Roswell is willing to sacrifice himself to destroy the current world and thereby sending Subaru back in time to fix the loop again. This willingness to sacrifice himself could also be seen last season, so he can and should take his threat seriously. We should also mention that during the knighting ceremony in the light novel, Roswell also had a very important conversation with Subaru, which was partly, if not entirely, cut from the anime, informing him about the fact that the attack on the Roswell Manor was only supposed to target Beatrice, meaning that another culprit, whose identity is still unknown, gave different orders to Elsa and Emilia. After having said all that, we can assume that Roswell is gonna support Camp Emilia in gaining support for the future elections, which are gonna take place 4 years after the ending of Season 2. But there's still one last character that I should mention, Garfield. While Garfield kind of acted as a second antagonist during the last season, Subaru managed to get him on his side by addressing and solving problems that deeply influenced Garfield. And at the end of Season 2, Subaru even managed to bring Garfield to Roswell Manor to support him in rescuing all the people present there. And we shouldn't skip over the fact that for Garfield, Subaru has become a kind of role model he looks up to, a kind of older brother. In Subaru and company, Garfield has found a new kind of family that he wishes to protect. Just like Garfield tried to act as the shield of the sanctuary, he now wishes to act as their shield, making him another crucial part of the Emilia camp. Also, look forward to his relationship with Otto. And I believe that's it for all of the important characters that we know so far. I left out some of the less important ones, such as Ram. If you still want to know about the other characters, let me know in the comments. I'm really looking forward to watching the next season of ReZero, considering how exciting the light novels were, and I hope you feel the same now. If I couldn't convey that feeling good enough, or if I made a mistake, please feel free to reach out to me in the comment section below. Also, please beware that English is not my first language, so I sometimes struggle with it. But that said, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time.